Okay, so welcome. And if you're just tuning in, here is Ikulcha TV, and we are streaming here live on YouTube, GH News Now, and YouTube, Facebook, GH News Now. So we are bringing you the maiden edition of Daily Tips, and then here on Daily Tips, we share with you the things you need in your lives that would help improve your health, that would help improve your daily lives as well. Okay, so today we are talking about water, and I am your host, Brown. We are sharing with you some of the things you need to know about water, the causes, the effects, some diseases, and then some tips that I bet you don't know. And then so stay tuned with us and then watch us for today. Okay, so we are just diving into our conversation for today. When we say water, we know water plays a very important role in our lives, and then water is very essential to our health as well. The body is made up of 70% of water, and that is the reason why every water that we take in, the one we use to cook, the one we use to bath, the one we use in doing other activities, we need to watch it. We need to take our time and then examine it before taking it in. I want to talk about our plastic bottles, the bottled waters and the sachet waters as well. So when we take the sachet water, the lifespan, or let me say the expiry date that is on the sachet waters is 3 months. And so if we purchase any sachet water, we should check on it if it has the batch date, or let me say the manufacturing date. And then 3 months from the manufacturing date, that means the water is not suitable to be taken. When we take the bottled waters as well, the plastics, one would ask, why are we saying bottled waters? The bottled waters also have certain conditions that when it gets to, it is not suitable for our health. Let's talk about these conditions. When it's subjected to heat, or let me say thermal degradation, the chemicals in these plastics, the plastics I'm talking about, I'm not talking about those that contain only water, even the ones that contains our food and other things that we consume into our body. It also have the same effect. So when we take the plastic bottles as well, or let me say the plastics that our water is contained in, it has two chemicals that are endocrine disruptors. So we have the bisphenol A and then we have the phthalates. So these two chemicals are endocrine disruptors. And so when it leaches into our bottled waters, it causes problem. Someone has typhoid and then would be taking in just bottled waters because he thinks are not good or causes harm to the body. But he will still be suffering from this typhoid, or let me say the issue he has with the body through the water related diseases. And yes, still after taking the bottled waters, will still be suffering from the disease. Why? Why is this so? It's because we don't check if these bottles that we contained our waters in, or the bottled waters that we are taking in, first of all, the expiry date, the plastic has reached its expiry date, and so the chemicals in it has leached into it, or it has been exposed to heat, or it has been exposed to the sun, in which would cause these chemicals to leach into the water as well. And also, even with freezing, it can cause these chemicals in the plastics to leach into the water as well. And these are the major causes of the health related issues that we are having. Someone will be suffering from typhoid, someone will be suffering from diarrhea, someone will be suffering from cholera, someone will be suffering from polio, someone will be suffering from a lot of diseases like cancer and other things, because this water, it goes a long way to cause damage in our system. When we take some statistical analysis about water, our body is made up of 70%, and then we have the brain and the heart consisting of 73% of water. The skin contains 64, and the muscles and the kidney 79 and 31% respectively. So when we watch this, we know that then the body, almost all parts of the body is made up of water. And that is the reason why every disease that we get, or most of the diseases that we contract, is from water. We don't watch this because we can take in the right amount of food, we can take in all the daily tips we need, and still if you are not taking care of your water, if you are not watching the water you take in, you still be having issues with your health. So some these are some of the statistical analysis about our water. And then we know water helps in digestion, and that is why water in the body as well. It also regulates our body temperature through sweating and then respiration. Water also acts as a shock absorber for the brain and then the spinal cord, and it also flushes away the body waste through urine. We know when we take in much water, the only way these toxins in our bodies, through the food we eat, through the things we contaminate, even the air we breathe, the contaminated things we take into our body, it is through water that all these toxins, all these chemicals, all these things we've taken into our body can flush out of the body so that we'll be safe. And also, there is a statistical analysis that has stated that 80% of the diseases that we are getting, that is water related diseases coming from um, water. Most of the problems we are suffering from in the least developed countries or even in the developing countries is from water. Is from water. 80% of this is from water, and 20% is from the food we are taking in. And then what is it in the water that is killing us? The chemicals, or let me say the toxins coming from the plastics that contains all these things. Also, 20% of the healthcare facilities have no water service, 21% of them no sanitation service, and 22% no waste management service. And that is why we are having issues related with water. The typhoid in our system, or let me say in our country, is at large. Also, there has been a statistics that by 2025, which is now, half of the world's population will be living in water stressed areas. Yes, one thing that we should take note of is that. And also, today I want us to um, discuss what the effect of water has on our body. What are some of the things that our body, when these contaminated water gets into our system, can cause? It can cause damage to our cells, our tissues, and this is why, or that is the reason why most of the people suffering from diarrhea and most of the people suffering from a lot of diseases in our system, it is water related. It is water related. So that is one thing I want us to take note of. And another effect we can also get from taking in contaminated waters or waters that causes damage to the system. Another effect is the poisoning of our system too. When we take in these waters, it poisons the system. It releases certain toxins into our system that can go a long way to affect our body, or let me say the tissues, the organs in our system. Okay, so today we've learned a lot, and I'm sure if you keep on following, you get to know most of the diseases that we don't know about water that is killing us. Someone would be there strong, healthy, taking in the right amount of food, but because of the waters that he's taking in, or she's taking in, would be can die or can suffer from um, other diseases that can cause his or her death. So today there are certain images that we need to look at. And when we take the pipes through which the water flows, Ghana Water Company, the water flows to come into our various houses. These pipes have been down there over decades. We haven't changed them even for any. I don't remember we seeing anybody going to change the pipes that the water flows through. But we've been taking water from these pipes to bath. We've been taking water from these pipes to cook, and then someone will be using a what particular source of water for a very long time, and then later you see he or she will be complaining about skin disease or some rashes all over her body, and then having some diseases related to the body. Why is this so? It's because of the heat under there that is causing our pipes to leach certain chemicals from the plastics where the water flows through the pipes through which the water flows through, because these pipes, these plastics, it's also a plastic and so has this bisphenol A and also the phthalates that leaches into the water, and then it passes through this water that flows through our homes, and then we take it in. So one thing that we also get, we use these waters to cook, and then we share all the water related diseases with our friends, with our partners, but we don't even realize that. And so there is a need for us to watch this. Someone would ask, so what can we do to eradicate all these problems? We can try and then boil some of the water that we take in. We We can try and then boil some of the water that we take in and then make it warm before we take it in to prevent the microbes that are present that can cause sickness or that can cause any disease in our system. Also, another thing that we can do is to adapt some of the traditional ways of storing water where we store our water. We can store it in the pots, or we can even take the leaves, the natural leaves, and even put it in our water. These minerals in the leaves can protect the things that are in water that can cause harm to the system. The chemicals in it, it will absorb all these things. And so when you take in this water, it won't have any effect on the body as well. Another thing that we need to know is that we can use a water disinfectant. This point is very, very important. We can use a water disinfectant. And someone will say, so where are we going to get this water disinfectant? There are lots of water disinfectants that has zinc, that has copper, that has silver in it, and can eradicate, or let me say it can take away all these chemicals, all these toxins in our bottled waters, in our sachet waters, to make it safe for us. Because as long as we work, as long as we need money to feed the home, we have to go to work, and so we don't even get the time to exercise, to do other things to keep our health intact. And so it's these waters that we take in that builds our health, that tries to keep us for the day. And so if you're not taking the right amount of water, or if you're not taking the good source of water, then what would become of you? And so before I forget about this, we all need to take at least 3 liters of water a day. 3 liters of water a day. That is the required amount of water at least every human or everybody needs in the system for the day, so that it can keeps your cells rejuvenated and your body refreshed as well. So as long as we do the works that are so let me say involving, engaging, like our mothers that works at the market, and those that's the white collar jobs where we sit for a very long time. We need these good waters to help build or rejuvenate ourselves, refresh our system so that we can work well. And that is why if you don't have the time to boil your water in the house or treat them in the traditional way, therefore you should adopt the modern way by using a water disinfectant that can help us. Health, our health, our health is, let me say, it's something that is individualism. If you don't care about your health and then you sit there and wait for the government to intervene, then you don't want your health, or you don't care about your health. So if you care so much about your health, then I'm sure you should individualize this. You should make it personal by getting some of the things that would help your health. If you want to purchase this water disinfectant, there are several ways, or let me say there are so many ways you can get these. You can visit the pharmacy shops or other vendors that has that have these water disinfectants and can help our water, make it safe, and then help improve our health as well. So today we are ending our show with this. Water is life. Water is life, and so we need to make it a point to take in good water. If we take in good water, our health will be improved. And then most of the diseases that we are suffering from, it's all of these diseases, it will be eradicated. Thank you very much for watching us here live on Ikulcha TV. If you are watching us or if you watched us, we are streaming live on Ghnewsnow on the YouTube and then on the Facebook as well. Thank you very much and see you same time next week. Bye.